Alrighty, we are playing some Ad Nauseum, hunting the elusive 5-0 trophy. I have never gotten 5-0 with Ad Nauseum, but let's see how it goes. I'm going to keep this. We got stuff to do. We have Lotus Bloom, we have half the combo. This looks good. Foothills into Stomping Ground. Ooh, uh, hollow one of some kind. Yeah, that's some kind of hollow one. This will be fun. I'm going to suspend Lotus Bloom. I'm going to sleight of hand in search of a second Lotus Bloom. Just because two Lotus Blooms are great. We could take Darkstick Shores, but I don't think that really matters. Angel's Grace is fine also. Let's just take Angel's Grace. It's a backup. We may need it to survive a turn. There's some hollow ones a coming. No. Surprising. Don't need more of these. I'll just play the temple so that worst I can definitely unlife next turn. Just gonna keep burying those. So this is more like the Holy Diva, Holy Diva. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. I think it's Diva. Vengevine version, which I've played a ton of as well. I love it. It's great. Um, it can be stupid fast, which could be a problem. But in this particular game, they're doing absolutely nothing, which is good for me. So we're just gonna... I'm gonna go with the visions, try and find the Ad Nauseum for next turn, because I can just basically waste an Angel's Grace next turn. I'm now also regretting getting rid of the Darkstick Shores. Yeah, this could be a painful turn. What are we gonna do? But they're killing themselves for me. That's nice. More lootings. Played a bunch of leagues, and this is actually the first time I've come across this Vengevine deck. So this will be interesting. Oh. That's a little surprising. So if we pull an Ad Nauseum, we just win. Spoils doesn't win on the spot. Look at this redundant hand. Okay, I think I'll just play the Unlife, because it's probably very difficult for them to deal with in game one. If anything goes catastrophically wrong, we can burn the bloom for some Angel's Grace, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. He goes for another Faithless Looting. Neonate still hasn't managed to trigger Vengevine at any point. There it is. Vengevine, Hollow One. And I'm going to take 6. I mean, I can spend a couple of turns, really. Just Angels gracing my way to not die. But I could also do this. So crack. Yeah, no, that's game. Crack, Lotus Bloom, play the Lab Maniac. No, 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 can't do that. Can't do that. I need black mana. So I crack the Bloom for black, use 2 of it and a blue to pay for the Lab Maniac. Use the third one to pay for spoils, and then win with Serum Visions. So do this for black. Play Lab Maniac. This. Make sure I'm right. Oh, okay, great. You didn't even need to see it. Fine, thanks. Alrighty. Echoing Truth seems like a weird one to bring in, but hey. Pontu's Last Reckonings. Echoing Truth is not the one I was thinking of. Hercule's Recall. It's fine against a stupidly early Vengevine. Not Vengevine. Against multiple turn 1 hollow ones. I don't think I want to be thought seizing. Most of his stuff is bigger than push. We can shave a pact and a bloom on the draw. And then just recall actually what I want to be doing. Nah, just do this. So this hand goes turn 1, slide a hand, look for another land, turn 2, prism. This hand isn't doing much. This hand isn't doing much. But we do have a quick look through the first 5 cards, which is not nothing. Let's just try it. Okay, it's much better. Okay, it's much better. I would really like an untapped land to just go prism next turn. Then another untapped land, which may just win the game. Okay, he did a whole bunch of hollow ones. He did a whole bunch of nothing. No untapped land, so sleight of hand. The inclusion of Death Shadow into these lists is kind of interesting, because suppose you do drop yourself down pretty low with street rates, and I mean, that's why Death Shadow did its thing. This is a not insignificant amount of damage. City of Brass. So that's prison. Okay, let's think about this for a second. If I go, there's very low chance of taking 20 damage next turn. 10, I don't really know how he pulls out that much more hasty. Another 10 points of hasty damage next turn. So I go to 19 and I play Prism. I untap with 4 mana on the board, 1 in hand. If I draw an untapped source, including another Spirit Guide, then I can cast Angel's Grace Ad Nauseum win. Maybe I was supposed to keep that other Spirit Guide. Either way, let's do this. Now he could just have a Ancient Grudge for my Prism, which would be sad. He is flashing back looting, and he didn't keep up green mana, so he's not trying to pitch it. He's just trying to get in for 2 more. Pay for that. Okay. So I may have to burn an Angel's Grace. Neither of you matter. What can I do? 7. Not much. 4, 5, 6, 7. My only out. I think I just did. 2, 3, back to 2. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's a line that gets us out of this next turn. Mostly because we should have just kept that other Spirit Guide on top instead of the Serum Visions. Then we would have had our 6th mana and we would have won the game. I mean, I can Lightning Storm to kill a thing, but that doesn't help. In fact, just kills me if he has lands in hand, which probably doesn't. No. Let us... We'll play our Angel's Grace. See what's on the top of our library. Really needs to be an unlife into a land for us to have a chance. Alright. Yep. The explosiveness of Lotus Bloom is much more effective on the play. It was unfortunate. That was just a little light on everything, really. This is interesting. I'm gonna just go temple. I'll keep more land. Don't thought seize me, bro. We could be getting thought seized. He could be faithless looting. It could be burning inquiry. It's a neonate. We'll play our shores and nice. Again, if we draw a spirit guide next turn, we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can win. That's not what I wanted to see. Let's slide a hand before we do anything else. Spirit guide is probably the most useful there. Put that on the bottom. Gonna hit us for 2 with a Phoenix. I mean, if we can avoid thought seizes. Oh, you're really greedy. And assume he's not finding an additional 11 points of damage. Hasty damage this turn. And then I can either draw another untapped land and win, or Bontus. And a single Thoughtseize doesn't ruin either of those plans. Neonate. Rakdos Charm is criminally underplayed. It's a very, very useful card. So I have to do this. I can play out the Lab Maniac, the blocker. 9, 10, 11. If I Bontus now, it means I'm out of action next turn. Okay, so here's the thought. I can play a Lab Maniac as a blocker to try and block Hollow One, which leaves me very much probably not dead because he has to find 8 more points. If he has a single removal spell now to kill the Lab Maniac, he has 7 points on board and needs to find another 5 in the form of Neonate discarding Flame Wake, or even worse, discard Vengevine, play a Bushwhacker. If he goes, if I Bontu, and he goes untap, Gurmag Angler, Bushwhacker, that's a lot of damage and a lot of dead. I'm gonna go with the Lab Maniac because I want the game to end. I don't want the game to keep dragging out. And again, barring Thoughtseize. Okay, this is good for us. Okay, nothing. So we use Gemstone Mine for white mana. Ad Nauseum. 5. Proceed to draw our entire deck. And our opponent scoops it up. Alright, let's move on to the next game.